Hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Into the Core podcast with myself, Linda. I'm really excited about this week because I have a very dear friend who, honestly, I just feel like she's played me all this time. All this time, she's played me. She's played me. She's played me. She's played me. Hear me, hear me. She has played me. But it's all right because anyway, I'm going to be talking to her. I always like the conversations that we have. She's absolute human. When I say absolute human, I just mean like very unassuming. I mean like just words are always epic with her. So before I introduce her to you, we get into the core without introduction.
Get into it. All good things in Africa and beyond. Into the core. 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 All good things in Africa and beyond.
That's right, all good things in Africa and beyond. And today we are featuring our very own, straight out of Kenya. We're featuring the lovely Lorella Jowi. She's a casting director. She's a mother. She's a businesswoman. She's a mentor. She's a teacher. She's all those great, beautiful things. Lorella, welcome.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for
Well,
having
you
me.
know, don't be shy. Don't pretend to play shy right now. Now's not the time. Now's not the time. I mean, like right now, we really have to talk about this.
Yes.
You've been one of it's very interesting. I always call you at very awkward times. I'm always just like, oh, so Lorella, how are you doing? What's going on? Meanwhile, I do know that you're always busy.
Yeah.
Probably calling you on set while you're trying to figure stuff out. But anyway, so let's talk about your career in the film industry. So you started off in 2009. So what were your ambitions before you getting into the film industry? What was your background and why the passion for film?
So my what I trained for. So I trained in journalism and PR. That's public relations, and that's what I studied in college. And
Yeah.
I was really hoping to be a journalist. Like that's what I really wanted to do. But then when I finished college, there wasn't much, work around that was coming. And
Yeah.
I always had an interest in drama, actually, just stage and, drama, theater. I had so much interest in it. That spans, wow, from high school, I think, like way back. Like even when I was young, I used to do a lot of poetry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, in high school, the interest for drama really grew, and I used to do festivals. I won Best Actress in a play, in the when we had provinces and post province, and that's really, I think that's it's a bug, yeah. So it always stuck with me. Just that I knew for what my mother wanted, I wouldn't have done anything to do with drama straight out. So I went to journalism and public relations. That was what I studied. And then when I was done with college and nothing really was forthcoming, I stayed around for a while, just like in the year you're trying to figure out what's coming. And then a friend of mine actually told me there's a Hollywood filmmaker who that was in that was in 2009. Like, there's nothing much. You're just trying to do things here and there. I remember I had like a job as a receptionist for a few months, and then I did transcription. Between 2009 and 2011, because it's really in 2011 that I got into the film industry. So those 2 years were kind of gap years and trying to out, what exactly I'm doing. And during that same time, I got my son, yeah, because that was 2010. So I was busy in between things, yeah. So 2011, towards the end of 2011, that is where really I got into the film industry by default. So I met my friend. She tells me, yeah, the journalism thing, what's going on? I told her, well, there's nothing much going on. Actually, what I'm doing right now, I'm working at this. I just started this week at a transcription center, and yeah, that's all I'm doing at the moment. And then she told me, would I be interested in interning with this Hollywood filmmaker who is looking for an editorial assistant? So I told her I don't have much experience in editing, but I'm happy to learn. So that's how I got into it. So I met this Hollywood actor. He's a veteran actor and director. His name is D. David Morin. And so David really held my hand in film and took me all the way from being an editorial assistant because that's where I started. So I started with editing, learned post production a lot, which is quite helpful. And I thank God that that's where I started because it really teaches you the core things in filmmaking because that is where really the whole film is made.
Yeah.
You start with pre-production, production, and then post-production. But then starting out in post really taught me the ropes in the film industry. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's really where I started. I started out as an editorial assistant. That's late 2011. Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. I was checking out David's back profile. I mean, like he's been in so many amazing. I mean, like the CSI Miami. Um, what's that one? You know, with the guy with the curly hair, the good guy with the citron.
Yeah, yeah. I forget
That
it.
series. That series. Uh, I've seen him in like now so many things. Like I just went and looked at
Hmm.
his profile and his background and just
Yeah.
an understanding of what he was doing. And yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's fantastic. And do you guys still keep in touch?
Yes. Oh my goodness. He's really like a mentor, and he's mentored me and still does. And yeah, we really are great. Like it's almost a father and daughter kind of relationship now. Yeah. Because
Oh,
all
I love
along, like really, yeah, it's really grown into that kind of relationship. And yeah, he's still there, and we still totally keep in touch. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so let's
Yeah.
talk about. So when I met you, that was 2016 at the Hub Karen. You guys were in to do one thing. I understood that your background was also in film and production, but and you guys also did production for one of my fashion events, which was like probably one of the well, it was the last one that I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, and that was 2018. Wow, 2019 was
Yeah.
just workshopping into 2020. But that
Yeah.
said, it's always now you just want to uplift other people. But
Yes.
since 2016,
Mhm.
2016 you did something about the Obama's America. How
Yes.
was that?
Wow, that was such an interesting project. Because I remember it was Obama's America 2016. So we made it was released in 2016, but it was made, I think it was in 2014 when these guys came here. And it's through a producer friend, one of David's friends who is also a big time producer in Hollywood. So he came here and they wanted kind of to trace President Obama's roots. It was kind of, like a Republican sort of thing. And, they were trying to search for, what else is into the Obama family. And, it was
Yeah,
an interesting documentary, just crewing in that and, traveling. We traveled quite a bit with it.
yeah,
Yeah, and, yeah, it was one of my earliest, big kind of crew projects because that's the first time I think I worked that because most of it was locally facilitated by Blue Sky. And Blue
yeah,
Sky is a big, it is a big production house here. So yeah,
yeah.
that was an interesting experience for me. Yeah, just crewing and learning from producers who really worked a lot. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, like,
Mm.
what do you think, between, I mean, like, I'm not going to get into where you are now yet, but
Yeah.
from, say, those two projects that you worked with, with David and then the next producer from Hollywood,
Yeah.
how do you feel your level of learning was it like one of those where you're like, we don't even learn this in Kenya, we don't even talk about these things in our schools, and you know what I mean, or the workshops that we do? Is there
Yeah.
a gap where you're just like, okay, there's a big gap that needs to be filled? What do you think about that?
Actually, even then there was a gap because I remember we even started doing, David started doing master classes, and I used to help organize that. And through that, I got to meet so many artists who right now actually are working. Some of them are products of the master classes we were doing then. But
Okay.
yeah, indeed, there still is. I'd love, I'd hate to say that, we sometimes it comes off as if we feel inadequate or we lack experience and knowledge and things like that. But the reality is our industry is still growing, and we need to learn, and we need to learn from people who are ahead of us. And the reality is the Hollywoods of this world, the Bollywoods of this world are way ahead of us. And so it's always an opportunity to learn. And so I'd say in between working with David, crewing for Mike Baylog, the producer, it was really a learning opportunity. You realize there are things that you're not exposed to as much, either when you're in school or even in the work environment. But when you get an opportunity to crew with some of these international crews, you actually get to really learn a lot. In 3 days. In 3 days, you come out of there and you're like, what the hell was I doing? So
Right.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's just
always
the
about,
reality of the way things are.
what do you think, because I'm going to get back into your career in a few, but what do you think, the industry right now as it's growing, what are some of the key key items or lessons that you feel that you learned that we really need to implement? Like, it should be like an ASAP type deal, if you're going into the film board and commission, that you're saying, look, in order for us to be at this level, in order for us to even be in a competitive level, this is what we need, and we need government support.
I feel like technically we are really good. Technically, I mean, in terms of crew, in terms you get the best. I'm telling you, our lighting technicians travel Africa, Nigeria, South Africa. They go and light sets in these places, and we are very competent when it comes to the technical. I feel personally, from my experience, things that we lack are, in terms of, say, like elevating our marketing, especially once we've done our films, it kind of stops there. So the marketing kind of starts once you have the product, as opposed to it starting way back from when you're creating the product. And that is
Right.
where I feel like markets like Nigeria are beating us, because they really understand that aspect of marketing and pushing their product, of which for us it's still a struggle. Like right now, as we speak, there's a film called Mission to Rescue. A big time, it's Kenya's first Mission to Rescue. It's
Okay.
Kenya's first action film, and it's showing right now at in Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa as well. But
Oh,
the
wow.
word is slow in spreading, and some of us in the industry know that it's there, but I'm sure like someone like you now, Linda, has known that there's that, yeah, because you haven't seen it. So I feel like we're not that is kind of, that for me is always the main thing I talk about. I feel like we don't market as we try, as as crew and as talent. We talk about the project we're doing, but
Yeah.
holistically, it almost has to match the same budget that you're making your product with. Has to match the marketing, budget of it.
Do you think?
So yeah,
Do you think
that.
the Do you think the marketing society would be able, if the film industry got together and said, "Hey, we need
Mhm.
your help. You guys, as a
That-
marketing association,
mm,
we need your help."
mm, yeah.
It can't always just boil down to money. Well, I get money talks, but
Mm-hmm.
these people who need help, because even in terms of filming and production,
Yes.
locations, shoots. I mean, you can imagine already your budget is stretched, So by
Mm-hmm.
the time you get into marketing, you're like, wow, see word of
Mm-hmm.
mouth, what's up, you
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah, friends, family can. Yeah, I mean that, but also it just feels like there's just that togetherness. Also, that's where I was coming to. Like as filmmakers, we need to unite and really, and really believe that this industry is for us, and we are building it for the next generation. And if my child today was to tell me I want to be a filmmaker, I'd be so scared, to be honest, because I feel, we're not, it's still a struggle, and I would hate for it to be a struggle in another 20 years, that it continues to be a struggle.
Yeah,
It should be a lucrative kind of venture, and it's starting to be so. It's not that it's all bad, yeah, but there's more. Like there's just a lot more. We are still planting the seeds, and I'm sure we're going to reap, to reap heavily in the future. It's just doing things right and really adding on to even skills in terms of actors. Like I feel like also like we have a lot of up and coming talent, but
yeah,
that skill has to be passed on. So I mean, and those are some of the things that I do as well. Teaching and things like this. You have to try and pass on the skill and give people the little that with the hope that it's
yeah.
going to help them better themselves in the industry at large. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things here and there. Yeah.
If your son asks you if he wants to become if he says that he wants to be in the film industry, the truth is you should actually ask him, what do you think our film industry needs? He'll give you some
Yeah,
insight that you never even thought about.
yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah, I know. I
You
do.
know,
I know. I take him. I take him to watch films. I kind of try and do that because that's my world, and he's interested in it. Just
yeah,
that when you look at it from, just from the, just now making it make sense monetarily, making it, your living, like that is your life and that is what you do. It's still hard, and it's not even here only. It's hard across board. I talk to artists from even Hollywood. The people who are underdogs there.
yeah,
They get it rough. They get it rough. And so I
yeah,
feel like it's a step at a time, but I feel like we're at a place right now in the industry where people are really embracing Kenyan content. There are so many platforms that have opened up to take in Kenyan content, local content, and that's amazing. That just shows that we are growing, and yeah, we can only wait and see. We can only wait and see.
that's
Mhm.
true. Let's talk
Mhm.
about what there's a film, Watu Wote, that got
Yeah.
nominated for so many awards. Can you talk to me about that? Talk to me about how you got involved with Watu Wote. You were casting director for it.
Yeah.
How has that, you know, did it elevate also your background? I mean, do the accolades of awards come in, and does it change everything that you're doing? I know that now everybody's like it's all eyes on you, but you're one of those. Like I said, they're like the silent movers. You see how you're just there. I'm like,
Ah.
Lorella, you're out there kicking A like crazy. I should be able to say you're kicking ass. Okay.
Yay.
So I really want to know, like, how you came about, getting into
Mm.
that space, and um, what was that like? How the when the awards were coming, what was that experience like?
Yeah, wow. What water was kind of my breakthrough into the casting scene. Thing is, we are a couple casting directors in Kenya, and sometimes I even like tell myself, oh well, maybe we haven't really gotten there yet, because you'd find that a lot of casting directors are much older people. Yeah, in other territories, you'd find they're much they look like they're more experienced, they're older, they probably have worked for many years. But with us, being a budding industry, there has to be someone who really, you just own it and take leadership, yeah? And in that sense, give yourself permission to be some of these things. And so, in line with doing the workshops that we were doing, so much talent was coming off of those workshops. And we kind of realized that there wasn't talent management. So, for a while, I think that was between 2013 2014, I used to
Yeah,
have a talent agency for actors. And so it was just trying to test the market and see, is it something that people are receptive about and how do talent take it? But then in there came in the struggle of how does talent come across work? Who is the go-to person when people want to find talent? And that's why I started an interest in casting. And my good friend Gerald Langiri, he's also a casting director. He really, he really held my hand and always picked up my phone calls when I had questions and things like that. And so when What came, I'd done a couple in commercials. I had worked a lot with Lightbox Africa, and I had cast for them. There was a short film I think they were doing, and I had done casting for that. And so from that, when What came, and it came into Lightbox, that's where now I got called in to do casting for them. And
Yeah,
it was really an interesting project because majority of the roles were supposed to be Kenyan Somali actors, and we had a few of those. Like we literally, wow, we researched. We were looking for Kenyan Somali actors, and they were almost not there. They are there, but they weren't as good as what the director and producer wanted. And so we
yeah.
had to bring in. Two actors who were on Captain Phillips. There were two lead Somali actors, Kenyan Somali actors who were on Captain Phillips. So
The
we had to
one, the
bring
one
them
who
in for
says
them.
who's like the guy
Yes.
who was
No, no, no,
nominated for an
not the
Oscar.
captain guy, not the one who scares Tom Hanks, not that guy.
Yeah,
There's a very tall guy.
yeah.
There's a very tall one. Yeah, and
Okay.
the other smaller, and I forget their names, but yeah, but there's Barkad, and well, I forget the other guy's name. But yeah, we had to bring them in, and then now we also had local talent. And from that film, the lead was played by an upcoming actor. Her name is Adeline Wairimo, and Adeline, she was doing a lot of stage, and she had done, I think, a bit of screen, but this was her big break, yeah. And she really held this film, and this film went on. It won Wow, it won so many festivals, and so it qualified. It became an Oscar qualifying film, and so we were shortlisted. We actually made it to the list, to the Oscar list. Yeah, in the best live action short film category that year. That was a year later. I think that was 2017 or 2018. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we didn't win, but just being on that list, and my good friend Matrid, who was also in the production team, and Christine and Bramwell, all these guys like went for the Oscars, thanks to What. And yeah, it was I think it gave us, like kind of the hope that wow, like, we have it. We really do have it. We have the potential to create, globally appealing content.
So I mean, like I
Yeah.
look at you and I look at Wanuri, and it's just a sense of
Um,
where you're just proud that look at these women going and completely destabilizing a little bit of the industry. It might be through a short little something, but it's passionate and it comes out. You actually see it happen. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, so congratulations on that. I mean, like I feel like that's
Mm.
you know if I was on a list of the Oscars, I don't even know. Like I'd just be like, stop them there, stop. Ascari Angelia. I'll be
We
all up
all
on
like
that.
that for a while.
I'll be like, can a bouncer? I walk around in a bouncer. Like at least 1 week. Like we must pretend like paparazzi's following us. We must just anyway, that's why
Yeah.
fame should not catch me. Because me, I'll just be like, stop. Who are you? By the way, it could be my mother.
Yeah.
Okay, my mother from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I mean,
Mhm.
so after Watu Wote, what was the next
Yeah.
thing that you kind of built into?
So after Atoto, during the same period, if I'm not wrong, I had done the Sea Turtles of Lamu. It was a documentary that we had done, and so we had sent it out to festivals. It went into various festivals, and I think no. Then it won in New York. I actually remember traveling to go and pick an award for that. So that was almost during that same period. Um, and then thereafter, I think. for me, a lot of it was doing still casting for commercials and infomercials here and there. Um, 2017, and also remember, I also have Filmic now. That
You have
I do
Filmic, which is
production
your
on the side.
production.
Yeah? So when the
Yeah.
mainstream wasn't really happening, I was just going on with my productions for companies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it was a little. Oh, then I worked on 18 hours. Oh my goodness, I forget. I worked on 18 hours. 18 hours was the Africa Magic Viewers Choice Awards. Yeah, I was the unit production manager for that, and I also did casting advice on that. Yeah, and we went and won. That was in 2020. That was shot in 2017 or 2018. Yeah, and then it takes another year, and we won the AMVCS, which is like the Oscars of Africa, which was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, again working with a budding producer, and then you go ahead and win this big award. It's just amazing.
It's amazing.
Um,
Right
yeah,
now, how did you
yeah,
get into how did you get into crime and justice? Because
yeah.
I saw a little bit about it, and then I can't remember who interviewed you. And then I started calling you up like a psycho. I'm just like, one day, this chick is playing with me. She doesn't know me. Um, but I just remember feeling a lot of pride, and I was very proud of you. But why don't you talk about how you got into crime and justice, which everybody go and check it out. It's on
Yeah,
Showmax. Just in case, let me put that plug in. And
yeah.
this chick, she's awesome. So, yeah, so let's talk about crime and justice. How
Yeah.
did they find you? Which I find this is a reason why people need that platform. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, wow. So crime and justice. So that was COVID time, yeah. That was last year. Last year I get a DM on the most like unlikely platforms. I am on LinkedIn, but I hardly check LinkedIn. So yeah, so I see a pop-up and I open it and it's Adam. So hi, I'm a director, I'm here, and like okay, then he leaves his contact and he says he'd like for us to meet. They are here, him and his partner Pauline. They are here they are creating a series. So it was very brief. And then I got back to him. I told him, okay, here is my contact. We can meet, whenever possible. I remember that first meeting actually was scheduled on LinkedIn. We just decided, okay, this is where we're meeting and this time. And so I show up and they show up and we talk. They tell me about the project. Yeah, and they were still actually, when I met them at first, they were still talking to other casting directors as well. Um, yeah, but then on the third meeting, I think we did another second meeting that was just to test out, how what the scope of actors are and who they are looking at, their short list of people they were eyeing and things like that. And then I read the script and I was just so blown away. I was like, this is so good. And if you have a backing already, they were waiting to be confirmed by Mnet, and once they had that confirmation, they started out the job. So that is how I got on Crime and Justice, really. And I guess it was just that just being prepared. And as I've said, there were many challenges, of course, even that came with it, because as I've said, we're still very much growing. And in that growth, there are challenges that come with it. And so even on this project, being my first series, there are so many challenges that I encountered, even in terms of just getting the kind of talent that we needed for crime and justice, because my producers were strict and they were very particular in terms of the kind of talent we needed. And for some we nailed it, for some we didn't quite because it wasn't quite there. And
Yeah.
sometimes the show has to go on, and so the show went on.
Well,
But it was such an experience for me, and it gave an opportunity to so much up and coming talent, so much great talent that we have here already. People who've been in the industry for so many years and have been yearning to just work on a good, on a well-written story, and they got that chance through Crime and Justice, and that really makes me proud to be part of such, an amazing project. Yeah.
that's amazing. So here's my thing. I'm just like, I need to go home and update my LinkedIn because I was like,
I know, Linda. It's like LinkedIn of all the platforms.
But
When we are
everybody,
doing it on Instagram or Facebook.
they switched on people already. Their LinkedIn is very,
Yeah.
it's already done. Mine is
No,
just like, yep,
truly, yeah.
here, and I know that companies actually look at your LinkedIn first before they even look at anything else.
It's true.
But I'm very poor with it, and I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm very poor with it. But I'm going to
You
update
can be
it.
so
And if I
proactive with
don't
it.
update
No.
it, yeah, if I
Yeah.
don't update it, I'll get somebody to update it for me. How about that? Because it really is important.
Mm-hmm.
It really is important. Now,
Okay.
so now after Crime and Justice season 2 is
Yes.
coming, are you casting for season 2?
I hope so. I've not been told. Who said season 2 is coming?
Is there season 2? God.
We are hopeful. Let's say we are hopeful. They haven't announced yet, but if it's going to come, it will be great. I hope to be still on the project, but if not, I still wish them well. We have such full of talent, and I just feel like it's time. It's time for us to make our CSI Miami here,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
for
That's what,
our law and order kind of thing, it's amazing.
yeah.
It's just
I just want to come in. I
it's
want to
just
be
time.
cast for that one.
Yes.
If I find like a mega yacht.
Oh, Linda.
I'm a really nice person at heart, but I really want to go for bad, you know,
Yes.
go for bad. But okay, so what are you working on currently? I know you have something that's coming up.
Yes. So, wow, I have a couple of things that currently working on. Number one, in this spirit of just holding someone else's hand, we got. I'm producing a short film. It's called My Dad's Funeral, and My Dad's Funeral is written by Masi Kamau.
Okay.
And she's also directing. She's an emerging writer and director, but very brilliant. Her stories I totally relate to, and so we pitched for it, and we've got funding from the Kenya Film Commission, and
Wow.
so we actually in much advance at an advanced stage now. We're just waiting for funding. Once the funds are in, we are starting off. Hopefully this month we start pre-production, and then next month we go into production. So that, and then there's also another project that I'm also actually supposed to hopefully start casting for, and that is a Nigerian. There's a Nigeria Kenya kind of collab there, so that also is in the works. So hopefully something also comes off of that, and then as we see what else comes, as we
So,
see
wait,
what
wait.
else comes.
Are you saying you were just talking about the Nigeria production? I'm like, can I do a Nigerian accent? But I can be the bougie one.
That now we wait. We just wait and see.
I know, I
But yeah,
know.
but
I'm
it's
really
exciting.
hopeful.
The thing is, there's always like a calm when it comes to certain. At a certain point, there's not much of casting going on. But right now, there's also another project that but that I did as a casting agent. It's for Netflix, and hopefully it will be coming at some point. So that also excites me that actually our talent here are being eyed for international works like that someone sits and thinks of Kenyan actors in their mind. There's a Kenyan, there's an East African accent, there's an East African actor, like that really excites me. And so I feel like it's just a matter of time, and yeah, we are going global. We are going global for sure.
We're
We
going
are.
global. I'll be right behind
Yeah.
you. Please understand that. Wait, you and your son in the front seat. I'll be in the back seat, being like, "So where we go? Are we telling
Yeah. Yeah. But
some of the
it's exciting. I think for me it's just our industry is coming of age, and what a time to really just birth new talent. What a time to give a chance to people who had probably left the industry because they felt it's not for them, and they're so
right?
greatly talented, and they come bounce back into it, and they're really what the industry needs. So I feel like
Yeah.
that togetherness is what will really hold us, and together we can. Yeah. as they
Do
say.
you feel do you feel do you feel fulfilled in the work that you're doing? And it's a very specific question. Do you feel fulfilled in what you're doing right now?
I do feel fulfilled. I do. I totally do. I don't think I was born to do anything else other than be an artist in whatever form. And for me, really, I'm living that, that artist um, dream. I am fulfilling my duty as an artist who has been put in a place where I can influence,
Yeah,
I can grow, I can hold someone else's hand, I can,
yeah,
like it's just a blessing to be in such a position, and I don't take
yeah.
it for granted. So yeah, so I really feel so fulfilled, and I'd totally do this because it's my passion, and I'm living doing what I really love, and which is just being an artist and expressing it in whatever form I am right now, as a filmmaker, as a voice artist, as a casting director, all that. Yeah, yeah.
Tell me, who are some of the people that we need to look out for? Actors, actresses. Give me at
Oh my
least two women, two men. Name for me some
God.
of the ones that we just need to be like, all right, I see you.
Yes,
We're looking
I
out for you.
feel. Yeah, in terms of emerging talent, look out, seriously look out for Foy Wamboi. Foy is such a star. She's such a,
Koi,
she's such, Foy Wamboi. Foy Wamboi. Foy is, yeah, she's just a star in her own right. She's so dedicated. I haven't seen such a dedicated actor in so long. And she's so good. She's really, really good. So Foy is someone to
okay,
look out for in terms of on the ladies' side.
yeah,
On the men's side, please look out for Brian Abaja. Brian Abaja is one of my favorite up and coming male actors, and um, he's really gifted. He's grounded, and he's just a gem. He reminds me so much. Every time I look at Abaja, I think of Brian Obola. When we were doing our classes many years back, Brian Obola came in through our master classes, and wow, Brian he's just, I don't know, like, crystallizing into a perfect, like, just, like,
got it.
he's so good, and
Yeah.
yeah, so him, he's also there. There's also, I think, who else? Who else in the ladies section? I have so many. I have
I
so
know,
many. I'm trying
and
to.
that's
I know I'm
and
trying
that's
to pick one, another one, like on this other side as well.
no,
Also,
no, no,
yes.
no, no. Go ahead.
Those two for sure. Like if you ask me today, like yeah, those two are my people who I look at and I say, wow, these two are going to go really far if they keep, if they just keep
Yeah,
it
I was gonna
going.
say, let me not pressure you because I know then there's a
Yeah,
whole other list, but there's always that one
we have so
person.
many. We have such
Even for me,
amazing, yeah, we have such amazing talent. They so like I even feel like sometimes we lack what to give them, because when Crime and Justice came, everyone wanted to be on Crime and Justice, and it's because word of course traveled that wow, you're missing out. Like those are the stories every actor wants to live and play, and so
mm,
yeah, every actor wanted to be on Crime and Justice. At least most of
there
them.
has
So
to
yeah,
there has
so
to be a season two.
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna pray
it's
about it. I got God in.
mm.
I'm gonna talk to the guy upstairs, because he's the one who makes it.
Yes.
So
Mm.
I know
Mm.
I'm gonna be looking out for Koi and I'll be looking out for Brian.
No, it's
Um,
Foy. Foy one boy.
Foy.
Yes, Foy. Yeah, you must know her. She's like an influencer as well, a host. Yeah, she's very out there. So you'll find her.
I, I'm gonna look her up immediately because I haven't
Yay!
I haven't seen her yet, but
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna fall in love with her, and then I'm gonna be like following her, like stalking her. Where is she? What
Yeah.
is she doing?
Yes.
But one of the things that I really want to ask, because as a facilitator in the fashion industry, this just being one of my final questions before we're done, but are you working a lot with say the fashion council and or the fashion industry with designers, stylists? What does that look like? I don't know why I feel like it's like such an empty. I know these people, when they get the jobs, they're silent about it because they're doing the job and they're just like, I got this.
Yeah.
But are
Mm.
you working with people? Is the fashion industry heavily involved in the film industry? Because I really think it should.
Yeah. I really think it should as well. And I feel like at the moment it's not quite there because I mean being that I follow, like all these things so closely, you'd find, there are one, two, three, designers here and there who dress up actors for the red carpet, but it's not enough. Like, there's need for involvement actually in the actual filmmaking process, in the actual, making of wardrobe and different costumes and things like that. So yeah, so I feel like there's that gap, and hopefully maybe with time it can be filled. Like fashion can marry into the film industry, and film industry can go after the fashion industry and tell them we need you. So can we
Yeah,
plug in and do it together?
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel it's going to come, but currently it's probably not happening as much. It's only happening maybe when people are having red carpet events, and maybe very little, a little bit of it you'd see on screen, but it's not as much. It's not maybe as much as we'd wish for it to be, for that kind of collab to be there
Yeah.
between fashion and film.
So
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
enough. Not enough is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
I don't
definitely.
know why, but why?
You know, it's one of those things where you're like, you really want to see a thriving industry. That's the truth. At the end of it, you want there to be a merger between the both
Mm-hmm.
worlds. But maybe that's a conversation you and I need to have, after this, and see how we can link all the other people. Wow, it's just gotten blue skies. Sorry.
I know it looks so beautiful.
I'm like, oh wow, she's changing on me. She was so cold
Yeah.
and gray.
Oh my
But
God, we are like in Greyland,
it must
Iceland here.
like, it must be our conversation. It's just like God is like,
Yes.
okay, I'll give you some sunshine, okay? Um, no, we definitely should talk about that. Lo, we
Yes.
really should. Let's address it and let's
Mm-hmm.
let's fix it. Let's fix
Yes,
it.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it would be
So
my joy. Like right now with my dad's funeral, I want like my actors to have like amazing suits made by, like it's a funeral, so I want them to look so sharp and nice. And I don't want to go like downtown and look for some imported suits. I want like a local designer to actually, come on board and say, okay, how do our characters look like?
Sydney,
How do you
John Quebec, come on now.
see?
Um, yeah.
So
So,
that
so,
stuff. And we
so
actually say it proudly that we actually partnered with Kaveke, for instance, and he's the guy who is dressing, the talent on this short film. Like, how amazing would that be?
yeah,
Yeah,
or
it would be like that.
Sydney
It would be like that.
and Zeddy, Blackbird, Sao. I mean, like, come on. We've got so much
Yeah,
talent. Like, it's
yeah,
ridiculous. But anyway,
yeah. Mm.
I'm picking up that conversation with you right now. In fact, we'll
Yes,
finish this. And then
change
Simu,
comes here
hello.
now.
Yes. But darling,
Yeah.
it's been such a joy talking to you. I mean, like, and I know you're starting your workshops too. You mentioned that.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll be posting those at least on my socials. I'm still working on it. But once they're
Yeah.
ready, I really want to embark on that because I know there's so much need for, what do I do? How do I, especially, it will be specifically for people who are actors and want to be actors, and they probably don't know, how to audition, for instance, like totally on the basics. that is where we will be measuring our workshops on. Like totally on the basics. Get it right. When you have the basics right, nothing else can, as you grow now, you understand what you're doing. But it's very sad that, when you don't know your basics, then, you're lost and you lose it along the way and say, I don't want this industry anymore. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it will
yeah.
be basically casting and auditioning. Primarily, that's where we will be focusing on. Yeah.
Well, I want in on one of your workshops. I definitely want to be able to attend some of them just to, to learn a thing or two. I always just think that, expanding your understanding of industries, it doesn't matter which kind of industry, but just expanding your knowledge is also very important. And now I really
Yes.
want to wish you like all the best, my love. You're so
Thank
amazing.
you.
And I will never
Thank
forget that
you.
you're the one who gave us an amazing idea when we were at the hub when we just started. And you were like, yeah, you need to link it with the filmmakers. And we had for Women's Day, we ended up putting a Women's Day, producers, filmmakers, actors,
Yes.
directors, and it was
Yes.
so brilliant. And we featured about how many movies? I think we did like I think five short stories at that point,
Mm-hmm.
five short
Mm-hmm.
films,
Yeah.
and we gave away some awards, and it was beautiful.
Yes. Oh my
We need to
goodness.
do
Yeah.
it again.
Again. Yes.
We need to,
Diani. Indeed.
yeah, Diani. But then Diani is very. I have to
See.
I have to say a very big thank you to two places, Watano
Yes.
Watatu, so Watano for being my exclusive sponsors for life.
Yes.
And I want to give another thank you to our next door neighbors, Serenity, for allowing me to host the podcast on their property. I always feel like it's very important to promote local businesses in
Yes.
each and
Absolutely.
every capacity that you can. So, a
Yes.
lot of the
Absolutely.
times when we have guests staying at Watano, I end up sending them to Serenity to come and have dinners here. They have the best cheesecakes. Their
No
dessert
way.
menu is like
Linda, I'm coming home. Like I used to walk from Manuel Alexander as I went home through what yani like that is like so it's so
Rudi Nyumbani.
I'm
Rudi Nyumbani.
gonna come
Oh my God,
home.
come home.
I
You
am
know,
coming. I am so coming. I'm so seeing you soon. Yeah.
I can't wait. And
Yeah.
pass the love to your son and
I will and love
a
to
beautiful.
PJ as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh my God. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Into the Call podcast. I told you, I speak to such brilliant, amazing people like Lorella. She's been absolutely stunning. Lo, if they want to follow you on Instagram, it is.
Lorella at Lorella Jowi. Same across all platforms. At Lorella Jowi.
Okay, there you go. So if you want to get in touch with her, are you a big actor, actress? Are you looking to have your new movie cast and directed by her? You
Mm.
want her to produce. She's got her filmic on the other side for all these companies out there. Make sure you get in touch with her. She's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Wishing you love, darling, and I will talk to you
Thank
in
you.
like 2 minutes. So
Thank
phone
you.
on the side.
Okay.
Thank you, Tana. Thank you, Serenity, for such brilliant, beautiful, beautiful locations. Thank you. Ciao, guys, and we shall see you next week. It doesn't want to end.